My government is very pleased that the Respect at Work legislation has now passed the Parliament. This is one of the key commitments that we made during the federal election campaign. My government believes in gender equality, and with this legislation combined with the cheaper childcare legislation, the commitment to paid parental leave expansion, the changes to the Fair Work Act that will put gender equality as one of the objectives of the Act, the changes that will flow from particularly lower paid feminised industries in terms of lifting their wages, this is an important reform. The new laws will place a positive duty on employers to take reasonable and proportionate measures to eliminate sex discrimination, sexual harassment and victimisation as far as possible. It will strengthen the Australian Human Rights Commission with new functions to assess and enforce compliance with this new requirement, including the capacity to give compliance notices to employers who are not meeting their obligations. It expressly prohibits conduct that results in a hostile workplace environment on the basis of gender, and it will ensure that Commonwealth public sector organisations are also required to report to the Workplace Gender Equality Agency on its gender equality indicators. Everyone in this building will remember that 2 years ago, women marched for justice. They gathered in their thousands outside this building. They gathered to say enough is enough. They gathered to say that this was an issue that we needed to address. The Jenkins report was an important report. I pay tribute to all those who came forward and gave evidence to that inquiry. And to Kate Jenkins, in her report, deserves a great deal of credit. That report didn't even receive a response from the former government for more than a year. My government has acted. Today the Parliament has legislated, and I thank them for it. The Attorney General will make some comments on this and also on the National Anti-Corruption Commission legislation before we take some questions. Mark?
Thanks very much, Prime Minister. Sexual harassment is not inevitable. It is preventable. This is historic legislation that has passed through the Australian Parliament today. It significantly progresses gender equality in Australian workplaces. It ensures that women are able to earn a living in safe and respectful workplaces. Like the Prime Minister, I record the thanks of this Parliament and the whole community to Kate Jenkins, the Sex Discrimination Commissioner, for her work, to all of those who assisted her in her inquiry, who came forward to tell her about their shocking experiences in Australian workplaces. We hope that this is a real step forward. This is legislation that very closely follows the recommendations of the Respect at Work report, and I'm looking forward to its implementation. On the National Anti-Corruption Commission bills, which are now before the Senate, it was a great day when they passed through the House of Representatives last Thursday. The government is still intending that these bills pass through the Parliament this year. That means this week, so that we can get on with the job of implementing the National Anti-Corruption Commission that is so long overdue. Regrettably, I have to say that the Liberal Party has introduced amendments in the Senate just now. One of those amendments is one which would create an effective veto on the establishment of the National Anti-Corruption Commission. The government will not be supporting that amendment, and indeed I would call on the Liberal Party to withdraw that amendment. I would call on the Liberal Party to support the establishment of a National Anti-Corruption Commission, and let's get on with this task that the Australian people voted for at the last election.